Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video we are going to be going into the Hoya grow tent and having a little bit of a tour going on here. Not so much a tour, but I just wanted to talk to you about a few things that are going on in here. Everything's doing cloudy day outside, but normally, well, we're not so much in blooming season anymore, but things are still doing well. We have the Spider Farmer SF2000 light, which is nice and dimmable. On hotter days, I actually dim it down a little bit. It doesn't throw off a ton of heat, but it throws off less heat when it's dim. So we have lots of vines growing here. Oh, and I'm just seeing this. Here is my undulata, and it looks like it's going to bloom again. So I love finding stuff with you guys like live like this. I didn't know that was even there. We have had a few like little burns where you can see. So when you see some yellowing leaves like this, that's really just a sign that there's a little bit too much light. It's not that it's super unhealthy, it's just stressed. All new leaves will come out green if given the opportunity. Even new leaves that form under the more intense light come out green and healthy compared to the ones that are like they formed in the shadows and then were like brought into bright light. But with this many plants, there's always leaves and stuff falling off and dropping and that kind of thing. I'm always picking off little dead leaves. So I know I get asked a lot, why is a leaf falling off my Hoya? People get so scared when a leaf turns brown or falls off and they think they're doing something wrong, when really, look at this. The reality is, it is a leaf on a vine, and leaves sometimes just fall off. It's just what they do. So in here, with this many vines going, I find quite often I'm like cleaning up the floor from like leaves and stuff like that. Not tons, but you can always go through and pick off some dead leaves. There's always the odd one that's kind of turning yellow because it's like a year or two old. This one here is turning sort of a yellow. It's old, but yeah. So what else can we do here? Lots of vines. That's like, it's interesting with Hoyas because a lot of times, what's this one here? What am I even looking at here? Can't find the tag for it, and it's not in bloom. There we go. So this one is species Kyoye. #22. So anyways, some old leaves. This was like sun damage from like years ago. I see it sprouted a new vine from in the middle. And if you look at the way the Hoya vines grow, I love humidity. So growing Hoyas is so much easier with humidity and some decent lighting. Windowsills just don't really cut it as much as for some species. So when a Hoya vine grows, it grows a nice long vine. And then if you have the right humidity, you get all these awesome aerial roots. And I'm a big root fan. I love aerial roots on stuff. And so these things will grow and grow and grow. Here's a different species here that's green. That is got some aerial roots. Then eventually it will get long enough. And sometimes then it will form like the blooms, like the panicle or whatever it's called. And it will bloom on a leafless vine. After it blooms, then it will leaf out after that. So it can take a good long time. Now if we follow this one back, what am I looking at here? Is this the same species? I think this might be the same. Look at how nice and healthy the new leaves are down here compared to some of these ancient leaves up here. So anyways, if we follow this one along, it did send out a leaf here. But look at this. Beautiful. It's starting. It's thick. That's the first time blooming on this one, but there's not a leaf anywhere close to it. And this vine goes all the way up past the extension cord at the back. And it's way up at the top here. And look, it looks like another panicle there coming out. Very soft one, like that's rapid growth up here. So it's going to grow up and around. And I just sort of let them grow and do their thing for a while until they decide to stop. Hoyas go through stages of growth, and there are going to be some dormant stages. And see, I'm just going to pick some yellow leaves off. No big deal that some of the leaves are turning yellow. They can't all last forever. But they go through some dormant stages and then some growth stages. And it's random and seasonal and you know, it's hard to predict. But I found it easier in the greenhouse. This is just like hot and bright all the time. So things grow pretty good here all the time. yeah, so look at this. That's just a mess of vines there growing. And my Million Hearts is flowering here. Dainty little flowers on this thing. All over the place. It's just like bursting out in bloom. That's nice. I got a few of these kicking around. Another leaf. I need to title this video, why are my Hoya leaves turning yellow or brown? People get so stressed about that. It's amazing. So, now I'm just on the hunt for dead leaves. There's a couple more. But you know, the vines, they're fine. The only time you really have to worry is if you forget to water. Ooh, I just found here's my Carnosa compacta. Nice bloom on that. We're really zoomed in right now, holy. But yeah, things are doing quite well. I wonder if my other Million Hearts are blooming too. We got a few of them kicking around. That one's in the brightest light, which makes it probably the most bloomy. One more. There's an elbow compacta. Variegated. Well, the name of that one is gone. Here's the tag. Ovita. Here is my little personal collection of Hoya Lisas. So I've got a few going in cups or cuttings here that are doing quite well. And I took the top off this one and put the top down below. I see it's growing now as well, so that's good. Another damaged leaf. So this leaf damage, that was sunshine when it was in the greenhouse. It's grown well since then though. Some leaves also, they'll go paler if there's too much light. So I have to watch the Spider Farmer light above me because it can be too bright. So you'll find this is a perfect example of leaves that were, or plants that were in too bright a light. So we're quite low right now. I'm just trying to untangle some vines here while we talk, but it's really hard. So look at this. Ignore the Coronia going through everything. But if you look at these leaves, they had too much light, sadly. This one was tucked in and it didn't. But this is the Mathalide, I think is pronounced. But look at the new growth coming out. Nice leaves on it. Even though there's yellow leaves right here, they're older. And once they get that like too much light, they kind of stay yellow. Not hurting the plant though. Look at this vine here going up. And up and up. And this is my Rotundiflora there. I think I seen a bloom on it the other day. A little tiny bloom. There it is. Kind of a funny bloom. It's really stuck in a bunch of vines and can't really get to it. But yeah, things are doing good in here. And here's another perfect example of too much light. So the original leaves on this plant here formed in a shadier area. And then I introduced light. There's another leaf that's dropped. No need to panic though, guys. Dropped leaves are normal. So anyways, formed in shady light, and then I put it into bright light and it got stressed. But look at the new growth in the brighter light. It's fine. Beautiful new growth. This is the same plant right here. Coming out nicely. So I watch my watering. I make sure things, it's so easy when you have humidity because you don't have to water as often. Things stay moister. They don't dry out nearly as much. But yeah, I watch my watering. Some plants that are over here, they don't even have drain holes. Like this tub doesn't have drain holes in it. I just make sure that it doesn't get flooded and doesn't get dried out. Same with this thing. I find some of the little plants, this is Lacanosa small leaf. They honestly, they like to crawl around and they produce so many aerial roots that they like to be able to like connect to the media or the soil, whatever you're using, more often. Crazy aerial roots on this guy. But anyways, yeah, that was just a random Hoya video update. And I guess we ended up seeing some blooms, talking about some lighting, and talking about some leaves that fall off, and Unless the leaf is really mushy, like wet and mushy and got some rot on it. I don't have an example here in front of me, but unless it actually has an issue, you know, a few spots or blemishes or even a leaf that falls off isn't the end of the world on a healthy plant. And a lot of times the plants, they just lose leaves randomly. So anyways, that's a Hoya update. Things are going good here. Look at this one here. So that's the DS70, or it goes by a few names. But see if I can zoom in on this guy. Beautiful little flower on it. It's doing really well. Really viney. Oh, look, the vine's going crazy. There's lots of pinnacles on it. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you liked my Hoya tour. A few flowers, a few roots, a few leaves that have fallen off, and yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Next time, I promise we're going to get out into the big greenhouse and do a Highland greenhouse tour. Till then, we'll see you next time. Bye for now.